There's many interesting things right on your doorstep. And for our very first adventure, we're going to show you a few things that are quite literally just a stone's throw away from where we live. My name's Ian.
My name's Sarah Jane.
And we're going to invite you to come walking with the Wilcos. Our first stop is something that locals call the Dipping Bridge, and I'll show you why in a second.
Looks lovely.
It does, nice and peaceful. Now we're literally 5 minutes away from home. Short walk down a little path, cross the main road, and 2 minutes after we left that main road down the path, the noise of the traffic is gone and you're in this peaceful little place. Okay, and I'll give you a few facts along the way. I believe they're accurate. I've done a little bit of research, but obviously we're just showing you the sites, and if you want any more info, it's probably best to look up and get the info yourself. But so this is, I believe, first built in the 1400s. It's obviously had some work done to it. And it's called the Dipping Bridge because, I'll take you up here, it's quite narrow. We'll pass them in a second, but there's little holes in that side where local farmers used to push their sheep through the holes into the river, which is the river Ogmore, running down from the Ogmore Valley, and to give them their regular clean, however often that may have been. Now apparently it's known as the Dipping Bridge, but do you know what it's called? It's
always been the Dipping Bridge for us.
It's called the New Inn Bridge.
Ah,
because apparently there used to be an inn next to it.
that would be good.
Yeah, but I think that's a very long time ago, and I don't know why New Inn, because there's not even an old inn. There's a closer look at the little holes that they push the sheep out of. It's quite a narrow little walkway, and the cars. This stretch is quite a fairly busy little road, really, considering. Just beyond those trees there is a little compound called Island Farm, and they do open events a few times a year, and it's a prisoner of war camp. And during the end of the Second World War, there was a famous story where high-ranking Germans officers were held there, and they done an elaborate escape, which is just as adventurous as the ones that filmed or documented in a film in The Great Escape. Worth a visit. They have people dressed up, cars, vehicles, and they tell you the story in a lot more detail. And
But they only do open days, and it's all voluntary based.
yeah, it is, isn't it?
But it should be done in schools. Both my kids went to school here, and they didn't know about it, so it should be told.
So we've turned right a short distance from the Dipping Bridge, and we are now heading towards our next little point of interest, which is a little village, and it's called, I'll let my wife tell you what it's called, because
Merthyr Mawr village.
there you go, that's what it's called. My pronunciation is probably not up to scratch. So this is the River Ogmore that we saw go under the Dipping Bridge, and it's just skirted around the edge of the tree line there, come back through here.
Calm and clear this morning.
That's lovely. So this is a walk that me and Mrs. W have done many times because it's not far from home, even when our kids were little, not grown up now.
No, they didn't want to do it though. They used to moan about walking so far.
Yeah, I suppose it's about between 2 and 3 miles from home and back, but ideal. And like every good walk, there is a pub at the end. This is the beginning of the village of
Merthyr Mawr.
which was apparently originally part of an estate from the 1800s or 18th century. It's either 1700s or 1800s, part of an estate of a large house. And I don't know if there's a large house back there. I really don't know if that's it or the original house is no longer standing or somewhere that we've seen and don't realise. But most of these houses are very picturesque, chocolate box houses, thatched roofs, and just quiet and picturesque little cottage windows. Perfect. More of the village. Not all of the houses have got the thatched roofs, but some of them have. So we're heading down this way, but if we was to have stayed straight on that road there, that takes you to a place called Candlestone Woods, which is part of Candlestone Castle, which I believe is still there, ruins, and is 14th century. And now in the woods, well, let Mrs. W explain.
Now they're sort of generating more things, so they have a food festival every year, which lasts for a few weeks. It brings a lot of people in, and they also do a sort of like a spa kind of retreat you can go on, or even just a spa day where they've got a sauna and a wellness kind of place.
And we've been, haven't we?
Yeah, it's really lovely actually to experience.
Right in the
so
woods.
that's well worth a look if you're down this way to book in there.
Window looking out into the treetops.
Yeah.
All
And now we're going to go
wood fired, isn't it, as well?
onto the castle.
Yep.
And what we call the swing bridge.
Ah,
Bouncy
there
bridge.
you go. The swing bridge, which is a foot suspension bridge. And we'll have a look in a second. So they call this the swing bridge because there's a pivot, I believe, in the centre, which is about here. And you're not going to feel this, but if you jump up and down, let Mrs. W do her jumping up and down. Yeah. Oh, good bouncing. And that's the River Ogmore again, curling around on its course. And that's our destination over there, Ogmore Castle, and I'll give you a bit more info when we get there. There's a little closer view of the castle, but you can actually walk around the ruins, which we will do in a second. Just thought I'd get this little bit because we've got to, before you can actually get into it, we've got a bit of an adventure, which is in the way of crossing the river. And there's no dipping bridge this time, or swing bridge to get over it. It's a more rustic way. Okay, let's give you a bit of info. So we've been following the course of the Ogmore River on our journey, and it's a misconception because this is Ogmore Castle that is the River Ogmore, but it's not. That's actually called the Ueni, that river, which runs down from over that way. But just over there it does actually meet up with River Ogmore and goes a little place called Ogmore by Sea, which is a little estuary that takes both rivers out into the sea, into the Bristol Channel. not far from Porthcawl, which is just down there, but we'll perhaps do that another time. This is our next adventure. I think Mrs. W is a little bit apprehensive of crossing the
This
stones.
is something that I've done since I was a child, but in my older years, as they say, I get a bit scared now because I know if I fall in, I'm going to hurt myself really bad.
It's not that deep actually,
It
but
isn't
it's
that
the
deep,
fear
but
of
it's
falling.
the fear of
Yeah.
falling into because of the rocks.
Okay. So I think the first thing, or next thing to do is, before we get to castle, is we'll get our big girl pants on and get across there.
Unless I jump on the horse.
Well, you could always jump on the back of Champion the Wonder Horse there. Let's do this. This is inside Ogmore Castle and free to get in, which is always a bonus, and it's just ruins, but it's very picturesque, and on a day like today, lovely place to come. There's a nice little pub across the road just over there, perfect for a day out after a nice walk. And this place was used, so I read, up until the 17 or 1800s. Prisoner of war camp and other bits and pieces. And this dates back to, built in the 1100s, early 1100s as well, but I believe there was some kind of fortification here even before the Normans, who obviously built all of these stone castles all around the UK, many of them here in Wales where we are. But yeah, considering it's nearly 1,000 years old, it's in not a bad state. This little walk we've done is literally just over a mile from home. Just goes to show what is not far from your very doorstep. And I know that we're people of a certain age now and seem to take a bit more interest in these things, but sometimes it's nice just to get out in the fresh air, sun, go for a walk and see what's around you. Mrs. W couldn't make it across the stones, unfortunately. So it's time to head back. It's a bit early today, so no pint halfway through the journey, but that'll do us for our first adventure. So that's the end of our first journey, and just to recap, that's the castle, stepping stones in the end, and just to show you, that's the little walking suspension bridge, or the swing bridge as we call it, and that's how close it is. So it's not too bad at all, is it, for a nice little walk?
No, it's perfect. Quite busy already this morning.
It is, isn't it? It's because it's a nice day. So that's the end of our first adventure. Nice little short one for our first ever clip that we've put on our new channel. I hope you would like to join us again. I hope you found some of it interesting and entertaining. So until next time, ta-da.
Bye.